Okay, now the next thing you want to do is to save the user's input in a file, and before doing that we need to read the user's input at the server side. So first thing we need to do is have the user fill up the form. If the submission, if whatever the user has filled up over here is correct, it should be submitted to the server. The server will read and send a response back, and also write all these values to a file. Let's do this. Click on the submit button and then double click it. Okay, as soon as you do that, it should bring you over here and it should create a. Okay, when you're doing these changes, make sure you've stopped this server, and now you can do the change. Apparently I've deleted my button, so I need to just drag and drop this button again over here. Now I've got a button, give it name, give it a text. The name is not necessary because it's only one button. Double click the button and you should see the code. Okay, so now you have got this code over here ready, and now I can write the code over here, whatever I need to do. So the first thing I need to do is I need to read the keys, whatever the keys are there in the form. What are the keys? The names of these text fields are keys. The text fields and these choices or these controls, they are keys. Rename txt, email txt, etc. So let me just read it and write those keys and then the values and then write it into a form. So first thing I'll need to do is I'll loop to run I times I is equal to number of keys in the form. So this is the comment I am writing just to make sure I know what I'm doing. For int I is 0, I is less than request.form.keys.count. This will count the number of keys and it will have my loop run through that many times, how many keys there are in my form. And while I'm doing this counting, I will now send a response. Right. Request.form.keys.get, and I'll write I plus, you do it to join string, I plus colon, and plus again to join with something else, plus request.form.get I. Now this will get the actual value. This will get the key name and this will get the actual value. Get I, and then we do plus, and this is HTML tag which you will write to the response. It will display in the HTML page, and you will see what you will basically be sure that it has been read by the server, whatever you've written. Okay, so let's test this. My solution explorer, or you can just write from here. Okay, so I've got this here. I'll write something. Email call and HCDSCAE check the country UAE, and then submit. So now if you go to the server, and you'll see these are the keys and values which are there by default in the request, these ones, and these are our keys. Username txt are the name and the IDs of the fields which we declare, and these are the value. See, it means the server is reading it and sending them as a response. So this is I've read, this is the key, and this is the value. Key value, key value, key value, key. So this is everything which I have now selected and the user has received it. The next thing I want to do is to add everything which I have done over here, which I have received from the user, to a file. Okay, let's do this quickly. Click on the submit button again, you will reach here, and let me write a comment over here. Write in the response all the key and values in key value format. Okay. then the next thing I will do is I will now want to write this everything in a file. So let's create a file first of all. I need to do this creation of file before the loop. How will that happen? Write stream writer file is equal to, and if it gives you error, click over it. It will give you some suggestion. Resolve system.io.writer. Click over it, and then you see file is equal to new system.io.writer. Take the suggestion, and then here add and d / registration values.txt is a file which I just created, and when you write comma true, it will keep on appending. Whenever somebody attempts to write something, it will keep on adding. If you don't do this, it will not add, it will simply replace the contents of the file. So I've got my file created, and when I say write, I can actually write the content of the file in the loop. How? Simply write the content of the file. So I say file dot write line and copy this and paste all of this over here. So all of this will be written in the file. Instead of P, you write /n, because this means next line. In a file, this means next line. Once you have done this, once you have written everything through a file, remember to do this whenever in the end, whenever you are closing a file, write file dot flush. It will make sure everything remaining in the stream is actually written to the file, and then file dot close. Now when you do this, everything should be written in the file. Let's run this program again. It is now running. Okay, we've got something ready. Now you write this, fill up this form, select a country, gender, and then you submit. Now I see this being returned by the server, and I should also see a file created over here, d registration value.txt. Now let's open my D drive, and let's see if anything has been done over there. And all of this is happening inside this button click. Okay, so is my D drive open now? Let's see if my D drive is open. Registration values, it was just created at 2:12 p.m. and the size is 1 KB, meaning something has been written over there. Open the file and you should see everything, ABCD, etc. So now let's do this again without running. So I press refresh, or press this page again, the URL of this page again, write something else, write for example Fatima HTTP or AC.AE, password ABCD, and then we are selecting some other place and gender and submit. Now if you open the file again, you should see more values coming in. Now you see from the database, from the file actually, that more people have been registering into your website. Okay, thank you. I hope you enjoyed.